How's it going, everybody? My name's Ryan from Askreddit Tells, and today we're going to be looking at some of the top stories from r/EntitledParents. But before we do that, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all the latest videos.
We have an announcement.
The following video is a part of a contest for you, the viewer. And the rules are pretty simple too. All you've got to do is watch the video till the end, leave a like, and then leave a comment under the video. If this video reaches 500 comments or more, then the best comment's gonna get $10 via PayPal. Pretty cool, right? So make sure you share this video with all your friends and family and get it to 500 or more comments. Because the winner could even be you. Don't dress like that in front of my kids! Just another story of my boyfriend's crazy entitled aunt and cousin. This happened in the summer of 2018. You know, the aunt from this post and the cousin from that one. My boyfriend Cyrus, name changed, and I were on our way to a dinner party and stopped by at his parents' home because he needed to drop off something his dad had asked for. As we went to see his dad in the study, I parked his car and then went to wait in the living room. His mom greeted me with her usual warmth. His aunt and cousin, along with the cousin's gaggle of children, were there too. Cousin greeted me and then gave me a once-over and whispered something to her mom, i.e. Cyrus's aunt. They waited until Cyrus's mom had left the room before they said, "You know, you really shouldn't dress like that in front of my children. It's a bad influence on them." Me? What do you mean, dress like that? We're going to a dinner party. I'm dressed appropriately. I was wearing black, one-shoulder pencil dress. Cousin, well, your legs are exposed. I don't want my kids to think that it's okay for a woman to dress that way. You should go home and change, or at the very least, go outside and wait in your car. I'm 5'8" and I have long legs, but my outfit really wasn't showing a lot of skin. Certainly not enough to warrant this kind of a reaction. Besides, her kids were playing at the other side of the room and didn't pay attention to me, so I have no idea why she was acting this way. Me, sarcastically, "Damn it! I knew I should have just worn the bikini." Aunt, do you think you're funny? I don't know why she became like a grown Englishman, but... As they were babbling, Cyrus entered the living room and they didn't see him. He had heard what they were saying and clearly didn't like what he heard. Aunt and cousin never talk shit in front of him, and he has chewed them out for it in the past. He asked the cousin why aunt and cousin didn't dress better. Did they really think it was okay for cousins' kids to see them dressed in tacky Saris? They should probably go home and change. When they acted indignant, he simply asked, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did you feel insulted that someone is commenting on the way you dress?" They obviously had no answer. Cousin gave me one last angry look as we were leaving, and I gave her a smile. Nice of them to have a happy ending for this one. 3 entitled mothers have their kids over for food because I have too much. Backstory number 1. I have a working pantry, which means I have food for what will last my family up to 3 months. It's food that we eat and use, so I'm constantly restocking and rotating it. I'm not exactly a prepper, but it does come in handy for emergencies. Backstory number 2. I've been in self-quarantine for a few weeks now due to my compromised immune system. No one outside or our family is inside allowed the house. And we don't answer the door if we don't have to. We also have a Ring doorbell so we can communicate with people without answering the door. Backstory number 3. I used to coupon to the point that I could have been on the Extreme Couponing Show. That's how I used to build up my food storage quickly in the past. The neighborhood kids learned quickly that my son had lots of snacks that I was willing to share. In turn, their parents learned I had a very large food storage, which I never wanted to advertise, but oh well, I didn't think it would be a problem at the time. Yeah, I was dumb. I no longer coupon with the same intensity due to my declining health, but I do smaller trips, an extra can or 2 each grocery order, to maintain my food storage. Sorry for the novel, on to the story. Our city is in the first few days of quarantine. Schools and workplaces have been closed, but our grocery stores are still open, albeit wiped out and overwhelmed. Yesterday, the doorbell rang at about 9:30 a.m. I checked the Ring app and saw a neighbor's kid, about 5 years old, standing on my porch, so I pressed the talk button and tell him hi. "Hi," he said, "I'm here for the food." Confused, I asked, "What food?" "Mommy said you have food here for me," he replied. "I'm sorry, honey, but I don't. I'm sure your mom has food for you at home." "Okay, bye." He waved at the camera and left. I brushed it off because that kid was known for making stuff up, so I settled back into bed. Almost a half hour later, the doorbell rings again, and when I check it, there are 2 kids standing out there. One of the kids is my neighbor across the street, the other lives on the street behind me. When I greet them through the Ring app, it's the same story. Their moms told them I have food to give them. I quickly told them no and go and talk to their moms. They say it's okay and go on their way. While they walked away, I sent a text to the 3 moms. Your kids have stopped by my house saying you told them I have food. I don't. Why are you telling them that? EM1. What about all that food you've got in your food storage? Me. What about it? EM1. You have a lot. You can share. EM2. You've shared before. Me. My food storage is enough for my family, but if I had anything to spare, I would gladly share. But I don't. EM3. But you have lots of food. Me. Again, for my family. The stores are still open. If you need food, you'll have to try your luck there. EM1. Or we could just come over and take your stuff. EM2. Yeah, I doubt you could stop us. All 3 knowing about my health and mobility issues. Me. Try it, and I will meet you on my driveway with a weapon. An angry Rottweiler and an even angrier husband. EM3. Are you threatening us? Me. You threatened to steal my property, so I'm just returning the favor. EM3. Bad word. Shh. Me. Oh no, you called me a bad word. I think I'm going to cry. I better drown my sadness by eating all of these yummy snacks I have in my food storage. They didn't respond back, but I did hear from one of my other neighbors that EM1 was complaining to anyone that would listen, that I'm a mean person for letting her kids go hungry. Several people asked why she was trying to take food away from an ill person. I have several chronic illnesses, as well as to have more or less homebound. When she buys bulk at Costco every 2 weeks. She didn't have an answer for that and stopped complaining about me soon afterwards. She did end up going to the store to buy stuff, but was super pissed that the lines were super long and she was there for about an hour. EM leaves child on my doorstep. I work in a preschool and sometimes babysit kids from work, especially when we're on break. Because of a very bad sickness. We're canceled. Because my sister has a disability and is immunocompromised, my whole family agreed to go into self-isolation. Thankfully, most of us can work from home. We would limit our contact with all others, even other family members, to protect my sister. I was playing outside in the driveway with my brothers when a familiar car pulls up, and one of the little girls, let's call her Susie, from the preschool gets out of the car. I've babysat her many times before, but never agreed to on this occasion. I assumed the mom was going to ask me to watch her, but when I approached the car, she speeds off, leaving poor Susie there. I had not made any previous arrangements to watch her, and did not want to let her in my house, knowing her father is a frequent flyer and Susie may be a carrier. I got her some water and let her sit down in the garage to get her out of the wind as I tried calling the mom and dad. Neither picked up at first until I finally got a hold of a very angry mom. I explained I couldn't watch Susie and she would have to come back and pick her up. The mom freaked out, saying she was already at work and this is a total lie. She works at the mall that I know for a fact is closed because of a very bad sickness. I tell her that if she doesn't return within a half hour, how far the mall is from my house, I would be calling CPS. She knows we are mandatory reporters because we had already had to open a case on her. She explains that she can't, but she will send her husband. 15-minute passes, then 30. I get Susie some chalk to color with while maintaining a distance but trying to keep her happy. An hour later, I know no one is coming to get her. I phone CPS and the non-emergency police line, and police arrive at my house in a couple minutes. I explain to them the whole situation, and thankfully a CPS worker is able to get there pretty quickly. The mom phones me later and yells at me for Susie being taken by CPS, and then they have another investigation saying I should watch Susie during break. I explain my immunocompromised sister, and she is very offended I even suggested Susie might be sick. I didn't even bother to explain how she could be a carrier without showing symptoms. EM claims she won't be returning Susie to our preschool because of my appalling and disrespectful behavior, but I know she's been kicked out of all the other preschools. I wouldn't mind if EM never came back, but I would certainly feel bad for little Susie. I'll try to remember to update this post when school is back in session. Stay safe and healthy, everybody. That does it for today's video. Did you like it? Make sure to check out some of our other stuff and even subscribe. As always, my name's Ryan from Askreddit Tells. Don't forget about the contest we've got going on. Make sure to leave that comment because you could be the winner of a $10 PayPal. And I will see you in the next video.